Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with some of the colleagues here.
Dave.
Nate.
And today we're going to do a Game Master's tip talking about threat level or threat assessment for your players. We had a viewer suggestion by Joseph Henry, and he's in a game where he feels like the DM is just being too nice, and it's like he's playing a video game on God mode. So
he wants to know how do you add tension to the game, and how do you make it feel like the players are threatened?
Right.
Well, I would say first off, if you don't feel like the DM will increase the threat level to where you could actually die, or that you're so powerful they have to send ridiculous things against you, like maybe too many magical items or too many extra bits.
See our Monty Hall video.
See the Monty Hall video for that. Then I would just say the best way to add tension is time restraint or uniqueness of something. So if you can fail a quest, not by dying, but by simply a failure of time or a failure of situation where you don't get, like Sphinx and riddles or something, like that kind of, did you pass or did you fail? That kind of situation, rather than, hey, are all you guys dead on the ground? Well, then you failed.
Well, one of the weaknesses of 5e is the fact that they kind of have that mechanic in, like, where if you take a long rest, you get all your hit points back. If unless you're playing one of the more dangerous options.
Yeah.
So I feel like the only way to kind of compensate for that is by dropping your players. So like I try and drop players every game, and I don't want them to die,
but they can.
But
from
they
that
can.
Situation.
And actually, that makes me think of our combat tactics video we've recently done. That's one of the things we should have said is make sure, especially in 5e, make sure you have a healer's kit and you use it. Because, so like here's the thing, like essentially, worst case scenario, you have 2 rounds to react. I mean, I guess there's some circumstances that can change that, but for the most, if you drop a player, they essentially have like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And that requires a critical fail and fail on a death save, and then they're just done.
Well, there are other ways to make them fail a save, such as stabbing them, or like if you're a wild animal and you're like, I just munched on this guy to munch on him, and now he's on the ground, I'm going to start eating him.
If you got a horde of kobolds, and they surround a player. Okay, the one of them brings him down with 1 strike. 3 others just stand there and stab him. He's dead. There's no getting back up, because 3 stabs equal 3 failed death saves. Don't pass go to
even if they're 1 damage.
Even if they're 1 damage,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Man.
But that being said, I don't feel that most intelligent monsters will do that. Like they're going to go after the threats.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why I was saying like a wild beast or something.
Yeah. So that's why, like, really part of my thing is trying to get you're gonna have to make them expend resources. That's how you raise the tension, raise the threat level, is by lowering those hit points and then dropping players when it's appropriate.
Or having them expend a large amount of spell power and special abilities to just survive the fight.
So my advice here is also as the DM, I feel it's kind of like our responsibility to give the players not so much the game that they want, but a game that they're going to enjoy. And if you're handing out XP and treasure at an exponential rate, and the players don't feel threatened and they want to be challenged, then there needs to be open communication, so that the DM is aware that these guys aren't getting essentially the game that they're looking for, and change it. Okay, well, have something happen. We did a video about excessive magic items in a party and ways to get rid of them. So there's ways to remove that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can always be checking to make sure that players don't have too many attuned items, and that can bring the power level down. And then seriously increase the power level of the monsters so that they are a challenge. So that there's always ways to just turn up the power dial for the bad guys.
Yeah, but that's why I suggested the time, the ability to fail due to time or situation, because it doesn't matter how powerful you are, you can't You can't outrun time.
Well, no, that's definitely an option, but I'm also saying, like, if the players are running around on God mode, essentially being able to defeat anything you put there, if you dial that up so that they feel, the guy wants to fear death, and he doesn't.
Yeah, so like it's funny, like a lot of these questions we get or suggestions for videos, it's like a lot of them, they really just kind of like scream to me like the stereotypes of our niche, of our hobby, and like that, and which is like social ineptitude, because like a lot of this stuff you can really resolve with a conversation. Like it's not a game problem. Like there's nothing in the game that's keeping this from happening. It could be, it's a player problem. So you gotta go, so the players and the GM, they have to talk and find out what their expectations are and go, hey, we would like to feel threatened sometimes. Could you ratchet it up a little
try
bit?
And kill us a little harder?
Or maybe you find out that he just ran a game for another group recently and he went too far the other way. Yeah. So now he's like trying to so he's trying to compensate or who knows what they're thinking, Yeah, usually just a conversation, a friendly conversation.
If you don't ask.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So so that would be step one, because I don't even feel like that Joseph is asking like how to build tension in the game per se. I like that's a completely different thing. Like we talked about a lot in our horror video,
right?
And various other videos that we've done. Basically with foreshadowing and different things, but. None of that'll mean anything if when you finally get to the fight, it's a marshmallow and it just, you're just like, oh, yum.
Apply fire and graham cracker.
Yeah. So that's not even going to matter. It's like mechanically they don't feel challenged. It's too easy. They're fighting 3 kobolds. They're 10th level. They could probably use at least 4 kobolds to make them feel a little bit threatened. some traps.
Yeah, you apply some of the rogue assassin abilities to some kobolds, and look at that, they just did 30 some points of damage with 1 attack. Holy crap, what the heck kind of kobolds are these? Your party's gonna be on edge.
They want to ratchet up the danger. Well, you should talk to our friend Scott Garibay. He'll show you how to make some dangerous monsters.
Beams and sharks inside water bubbles for everyone.
I love Scott. He's a great
he's a good
DM,
friend of ours.
But the game that he ran on Monday night, he pulled NPC codex right out of Pathfinder, and we're 18 to 20th level characters, and he took a Goliath right out of the book. It had 4 attacks around at a plus 34 to hit, doing 2.8.
What edition did you play?
It was 5th.
Yeah. It does not cross over well at all.
So Scott,
that would up the threat level for me. Take Pathfinder guys and use them for 5th edition.
So we had 1 round of combat where the monk, totally, gets this close to being dropped. The rogue gets this close to being dropped. He did 170 some odd points of damage to me that round, and I'm like, is there any way that we can actually survive this combat?
And Joseph, that's how you add tension to a combat.
Almost dropped 3 guys in 1 round.
Mind you, there was only like 6 people in the party.
No one actually dropped.
No.
Wait. What level were you guys?
18 to 20th.
Yeah.
And one round just most through us,
which is awesome. So definitely there are ways to make it more dangerous. It's not really even that hard. I think, Joseph, you just need to have a conversation with your GM if you haven't already, and find out why is it that he doesn't want, why is he running these encounters this way? What's he thinking? What's his expectations? We just get him motivated by a kobold.
Zombie kobold.
Yeah.
Shoot.
That's my son.
Fortunately, Nate has levels in cleric, and he used his turning ability.
Yeah.
You can apparently turn young Nerdarchists.
Yeah, with the maneuver.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know. Do you guys have suggestions for Joseph? How he could handle this. I don't know if other players or GMs have the same problem or not. You can let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and share.
You can check us out on nerdarchy.com.
Let's join the conversation over on Reddit.
So until next time, stay nerdy.